I just recorded for 30 minutes. Did you know you have 30 minutes? 30, yes. Sorry, I'm brain rotted, but I recorded for 30 minutes all vertically. So this first episode is going to be vertical. I'm not re-recording. I'm sorry. I am eating an orange though. And if this is any reminder, take your vitamin C today, okay? Loving you. Enjoy my first episode.
I don't know how to start this. Hey, it's weird because I'm typically here with my phone turned around. I go live on TikTok like every day almost. I try to go live on TikTok every day. And I do it for my vanity. You guys are here. Hold on. You're here at my little makeup vanity. I thought about naming this the Vanity Affair podcast just because you guys are at my vanity. And this is a whole affair. Like it's a whole thing. I'm so nervous about this. This has been on my mind for forever. I think everybody that I know, or at least close to like a lot of my friends, have had that like, I want to be a content creator. I want to make YouTube videos. I think every girl has at least at one point like pretended to like put their makeup on in the mirror, like they're in a YouTube video. I think that's like common. I fear. I'm so nervous because I know it's going to be choppy, but I'm like, I have to start. I have to at least start somewhere because at that point then it will get like easier to do. And I'm filming this with my old like iPhone 13 because I don't have a Canon G7X. I don't. And I'm using like my gym tripod and like my gym like mic'd up microphone, this little tiny thing. Hello. Because I don't have like a really nice podcast microphone at this point. So I'm like building, but I have to start. I have to at least start. I'm a certified yapper. I always have been, and that's why like I've built a little bit of followers like on TikTok just because like I go live a lot and people listen to what I have to say for some reason. But there was a long time where I did not put myself out there. And I think it's just because of like literally cyberbullying. There's this girl, I'm starting off with drama right now, but it makes sense. So stick with me here. There was a girl that lived like an hour and a half away from where I grew up. Her and I were like mutuals. We knew of each other. We like followed each other on Instagram. I think we met one time at like a football game and I like complimented her gold hoop earrings and that was pretty much it. But for some reason this girl wanted to talk shit about me. Like I don't know why, but she would subtweet me and like other people would like screenshot it and be like, "Is this about you?" And when I had my son, I went through a lot of struggles with like learning how to nurse and learning how to breastfeed. And I posted about it. I made a long post about like just the things that I had struggled with, why I was struggling. It was like me trying to be open with the people that I knew and using social media as a tool to do that. And she wanted to subtweet at me about that and say like no one's going to read that, and then she said like um just other stuff. I don't want to be like too specific because she could very well see this, but after that, I took it so personally. It hurt me and cut me so deep that I stopped speaking online like entirely. I don't think I used like words in my caption for like years. And then when I did, it was like the most simple I could. I didn't even want to put myself out there after that. It literally pushed me into a shell. And then I felt so bad because I wanted so badly to share. I've always been someone to like share what I'm doing and want to connect with people in that way. And so it literally crushed me as a person. And I think that's like the long term effects of someone just not minding their own business. Once I started kind of opening back up again and then talking about things that I've learned and what I've gone through and connecting with people online again, then I started to get that confidence back. There's always going to be people that have shitty feedback and want to say something, but like then I started getting positive feedback and I started getting people being like, I relate with you so much on this. You know, my DMs were, filling up with other people saying that I'm inspiring them, that I'm motivating them, that I'm teaching them. And that literally killed all the fear that I had previously and that like fear of rejection. I think that fuels me so much, like feeling rejected. And we can get into that. For me, that was so painful. And I'm glad that I've overcome that. But I think that's why it took me so long to even just like start on something that I've wanted to do like this, like a podcast and just like talking. And I think I really look up to people who can like sit and they don't have to have like conversations. They can just kind of like spew off what's in their mind. And I'm one of those people as well. Like I don't need, someone else prompting me, I'm going to tell you how I think and what I feel. So, speaking of prompts, I actually did come into this thinking about a specific prompt, and like I constantly get people asking me like, how did you, turn your life around? How'd you go through your transformation? Because I went through a really big transformation in my life when I was 23. I ended a long-term relationship. I separated, from my partner at the time. We had a child. We have a child still. He's alive. He's 6. He's awesome. But um, at the time, I was just not a full person. I was such a shell of a human, and I just felt at my lowest, and like growing from that. I lost 75 pounds. I turned my life around. I became very independent, and I get a lot of questions a lot about how I did that. And I brought show and tell today. This is a huge reason of why I am the way that I am today. And these are all of my journals. I have one that I'm working on right now, but these are my past journals, and I have filled them out. And I wanted to show you the very first one that I filled out. Okay, so this was just a notebook that I had. I think my mom had given it to me because I needed a notebook. And I love going back and reading this because looking back through my journals is not like oh, this is such a peaceful, reflective time. This journal, specifically this one, is me like cussing people out. It's me like letting it out how I felt about people and about myself specifically. This book, I want to say like journaling is like so meditative and wonderful, and there are journals in here that are and very positive thinking, but I had to get it out first, and this book is filled with self-hatred, okay? Filled with it. This book, very first page, this is my 2021 shit list. I started it off with a shit list about myself, of like I'm on my own shit list, and it's these things that are pissing me off and fueling me. And like I think it was I met a person at this time that like held up a mirror to me, literally, because they reminded me so much of myself, and they also infuriated me, and I was also like in love with them. Okay, so it was like such a weird dynamic, and it was at this same point in time that I'm going through this transformation that I was like, the things that I like about this person are qualities that I want. The things that I don't like about this person are qualities that I have. And so I like wrote them down. And what it just showed me were my issues. I think this person very much like showed me the issues that I had. They're not in my life anymore, and I'm so grateful for that, but I'm very thankful to have met them so that they could have showed me my issues within my own self and the things that I needed to overcome. So I'm actually being so personal right now and vulnerable. Props to me. But I'm gonna show you or read to you my 2021 shit list. This is what started everything for me. Attachment, pain, motivation, health, self-care, trust, fear, commitment, gratitude, respect, self-control, pride, listening, jealousy, and attitude. Those are all the things within myself that I had issues, deep issues with. Oh my gosh. I had horrible trust issues. I had horrible commitment issues. I had horrible attachment issues. Just, it ran my life, and it really shaped the decisions that I made and made life so much harder for me because I had all of these things. So anytime, and I mean anytime, I took this book with me everywhere. It's like literally broken, busted, scratched. Like this thing has been through hell because I would just put it in my back pocket and just take it out. I don't care where I was, if I was at work, if I was out and about, if I was with my friends, I was just like, hey, give me like a minute, or just, I would just do it. Or if I had free time, I was constantly journaling. At night before I went to bed, I was constantly journaling. Anytime that I thought about something or I was overthinking about something, I put it down in here. And it helped so tremendously because it just made me more introspective for a little bit, but it also helped me to not overthink as much because I was able to like get it out and process it and put it down on paper. And then I wasn't thinking about it and ruminating about stuff and ruminating about my pain and ruminating about my fears and things like that. It was just, I could put it down, and then I could like switch my mind. And I think that that is something I want everyone to know how to do, is like, you are so powerful in your mind and you have the capability of changing your mind in a way that's like, you know, this is how I process and this is how I think right now, but I'm going to actively choose to think this way. So I used to like write down things that would bother me. This is what's been going on. This is how I'm feeling. I would just write affirmations in a way of like, this is the new me. And I wouldn't write it in like, I would almost write it in like a past tense. There's some things in here I definitely wrote in the past tense because I was like essentially trying to gaslight myself. This whole book is me gaslighting myself. It's me like denying the reality that I was in and saying, this is who I am now. Okay. And I kind of want to give you an example because it makes it easier if I like say it out loud. But I stopped eating like sugar, processed sugars, and fried foods and things like that that like hurt my stomach and like physically pained me to eat. And when I did that, I think it was like one day I literally had like fried chicken to the point that I was like sick, and it made me sick and I hated it so much. And you know, when you're like sitting in the bathroom, do you know when you're sitting in the bathroom like praying to God and you're like, I swear I will never eat KFC again if you just please make it stop. That's where I was at. And the very next day, I was like, I don't eat that anymore. I don't eat fried chicken anymore. I don't eat processed sugar anymore. I don't eat sugar anymore. I literally had it the day before, but it was me just gaslighting myself and saying like, I don't do that anymore. So it stuck. Okay? You have to literally like change the way that you're like viewing yourself, change the way you're speaking. The power of our thoughts is so incredible, but it's because like our subconscious really changes our reality and really makes us make different decisions. So like if you are saying something, you're also hearing it, and then you're listening, and then you're believing, and then you're speaking, and it's like this wonderful cycle of you have the capability to put yourself in an upward spiral. But you also have the capability of putting yourself in a downward spiral too. That's what I think is dangerous, is like you can downward spiral yourself so fucking bad just by saying like, I can't do that, or I'm scared, or you know, when you believe that you can't do something or believe that you are incapable, you're going to take action on those beliefs, and that shapes your reality. Then you're never going to accomplish those things. You're kind of having this self-fulfilling prophecy because what you say is how you act. It influences it directly. And so that was a huge part of like tackling those problems that I saw within myself, was like how I spoke about it. I used to say I hate myself all the time. I used to say I hate myself. I used to say I'm stupid. I used to say I'm gonna myself all the time. And I had to like catch myself. Anytime I like caught myself saying it, I would like literally force myself to stop and redirect it. It's like taking the thought and taking the pathway in your brain that it's used to taking. You know, you have neural pathways that like, you know, create your habits and things like that. It's stopping that in its track and redirecting it and rewiring your brain to believe something else. From what I'm saying, like I had to stop and start saying something nice about myself, saying something positive. I'm not stupid, and this is why. You know, it's the self affirmations. Dude, affirmations will change your life because your self esteem. Have you guys seen Inside Out 2? Sorry, I have ADHD and I have a squirrel brain. But like, I learned this a couple years ago in like 2021, 2022. I was like, you know what? How you affirm yourself and what you believe about yourself is your self esteem. That's your core identity and what you believe in yourself. But that shapes how you show up in the world, how you treat other people, how you treat yourself, the behavior you have, the decisions you make, all of that stuff. But when Inside Out 2 came out, I was, sobbing in the movie theater because it was so good. Because it was like, it put in a visual presentation the things that I had been learning over the last couple of years. And I was just like, do you ever think something and then someone like says it and affirms it to you? Hold on. I have to make sure we're still recording. Someone like affirms it to you and you're like, whoa, that's exactly what I've been thinking about. It was like that. And I loved that moment. And you have those like synchronicities when the universe is kind of like, hey, you're onto something. And I loved that. In the movie, when Riley's like, I am a good person, that shaped how she behaved. And when she started to think badly of herself, she behaved badly. And it's kind of this like how you affirm yourself and the affirmations you give yourself really, 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 really shape your subconscious and your core identity in yourself. And so when you're waking up and when you have a mistake and you're like, oh, I'm such a fuck up, oh, I'm just like all this stuff, you're going to believe that and you're going to act like it accordingly. And it's going to become an excuse to everything in your life of you not having self-control and you not having discipline and you not taking action. That's going to play out in your life in such a negative way. And the positive affirmations, it's not even like a I am beautiful, I am kind. It's just like a I am a good person. I make good decisions. I trust myself. I follow through with what I say. Those kinds of affirmations will shape you into a better person. And it's so important and powerful. I don't know. I know that people will like listen to them while they're sleeping. And I don't think that actually really does anything because although your subconscious is malleable, like while you're sleeping, I don't think that I've seen certain like rebuttal to it. I on Reddit, of course. But I've seen certain rebuttal to it of like it not actually working while you're sleeping. But while you're conscious, absolutely do it. I used to do it when I was like getting ready in the morning. Also, dude, you know a good way to get into affirmations? Megan the motherfucking stallion, okay? When I was like going through this whole transformation of my life, I started listening to Megan the Stallion. Girl, get into it, literally, because I literally would like walk on the treadmill and listen to Megan the Stallion and just be like, I am that bitch. I am that bitch. I'll still be that bitch. And that's what it is. Her music is so empowering. Her music is so raw and so real. And I love that. But like doing that while you're like physically exerting yourself on the treadmill, first of all, like 12 to 3:30 is not easy work. And it's like the only thing you can do to get out of the uncomfortable pain that you're in is like focus on the music. And the music is just, I don't know, it's helping. That helped me so much, honestly. Like becoming an independent, like badass bitch, Megan the Stallion saved my life. So that's a great way to get into it. Just having certain beliefs and knowing who you are. I think that is so important because at the time I was going through, you know, separation. And when you're dealing with some people that like their entire purpose in their life is to tear you down, having a strong identity and self worth will carry you so far because it doesn't matter what other people say. It doesn't matter, you know, what was in the past. It's like I know who I am. And that is unshakable and unbreakable. And you cannot change my mind because I trust, know, and believe in the truth that I tell myself. That's why there's people out there who like can believe they do no wrong. That's their truth. Okay, live your truth, sis. But like for me, I think it was knowing that I do wrong to help me build that. It's like what is it called? Radical self accountability is the only way. Like I had to take responsibility of like this is where I'm at in life and this is how I've been treated and this is what's been going on and it's completely my responsibility because of my part in it. You know, I think that you cannot live in this life. You can. There are people that do, but you cannot live in this life in a victim mentality and saying like, "Oh, well, my circumstance is everyone else around me's fault." Please, please. Like, how do you not see? And I used to live in that. And I still look back and I'm like, how did I not see that like the place that I was at, the people I was surrounding myself with, the circumstances that I was in was completely my responsibility. And my response to all of that was my responsibility. And I made it everyone else's fault. You know what? I'm in this predicament because this person. I'm in this predicament because this situation happened to me or this timing or fucking during COVID. I was like, oh, my life is this way because of COVID. In a way, yes, but my response to that was to do that. I gained so much weight during COVID, like a ridiculous amount of weight. I was like 215, I think. like peak COVID, because I would just eat constantly and binge eat. And I was like stressed, of course. And that was the only way that I knew how to comfort myself, was like to eat and have like my comfort food. And for me, my comfort food was like a big fat Philly cheesesteak and like a whole bag of Chester's hot fries and like a pint of ice cream. Yeah, no wonder I gained so much weight. But like, I don't blame myself for being in that position, but it was my responsibility. That was the choices that I made. And I tried to blame the virus for all of that and blame everyone else and not take accountability for my own actions and say, you know what, I chose to eat that stuff. I chose to not exercise. I chose to not take care of my body. I chose to, do all of this stuff. So I think that is what can change your life the most, is radical self accountability and taking responsibility for your life, um, building up your self esteem and your core identity, and then also like getting everything that's in here out on paper, get it out so it's not spinning. Those are the three things I think that like kick-started my life completely. And that's what I wanted to share. I didn't want to make a super long like first episode podcast, because I'm like, let's bore you for an hour with someone you don't know. Mind you, this is your first impression of me. Maybe, I don't know. But I think that is how I think and what I feel. And if you agree, let me know. I don't know how to do this. This is my first video, so I have to be like, oh, like drop a comment. What am I supposed to say? Subscribe, like, share, comment, follow, anything you want, really. But I'm going to try and make that my commitment to like at least post 2 videos a month and let you guys know kind of like what's on my mind. Let me know what you guys want to hear from me too. Like if you like the transformational kind of stuff, if you want to hear me yap about some drama, like if you have some tea you want to share with me, if you want advice, if you want to share stuff, just let me know. I'm here. Thanks if you made it to the end of this video. I love you, loving you so much. I hope you have the best day ever. Bye.